If you were wondering just how much Apple was going to cheap out with their next iPhones when it came to hardware, the answer apparently is not by much. Because yes, some new iPhone 12 leaks make them sound like if they are going to be worth the wait after all. The OnePlus Nord is apparently bringing dual selfie cameras for some reason, and it looks like we're getting closer and closer to the Pixel 4a announcement. Notice, announcement. I'm Jaime Rivera, and honestly, Google, you've been so late at this, and you've lost so much opportunity that it makes me wonder if it's even worth it for you to launch the Pixel 5 at all. Just give us the damn 4a whenever that happens, and let's just be done with it. This is Pocketnow Daily, actually happening on a Friday. The official news today begin with deals. I'm actually not going to begin with Apple deals, but yeah, you're not going to escape from that one either. Right now we've got the Razer Blade 15, which is currently $200 off, leaving the 2019 Intel Core i7, 16 gigs of RAM, and 1 terabyte of storage for $1,400 shipped. Then we've got the 2018 iPad Pros, which are also $394 off, leaving the 11-inch model, talking 1 terabyte of storage variant, for $954 shipped. We have a long list of Garmin deals in the description. Now, the Fenix 5S Plus is currently $250 off, leaving it at $500 shipped. It's actually a unit that I love and recommend. And finally, the Marshall Kilburn II is $100 off, leaving it at $200 shipped. Obviously, we have more of that in the links in the description. And by the way, yeah, we figured out the time code, so stop complaining about that. Now, one thing that I've never really understood is Samsung's Galaxy S10 Lite strategy, because we saw them at CES, but I've never really seen anyone using a Lite. Still, apparently that is going to happen again, I guess, with the S20, and we're not going to have to wait until the next CES. According to a new Korea report, we could be getting the Galaxy S20 Lite as soon as October. The report claims that Samsung is working on a 3-month continuous phone launch strategy, where the Note 20 will arrive in August, the Fold 2 will hit shelves in September, and we could be getting the S20 Lite in October. Another report claims that this phone might actually be called the Galaxy S20 Fan Edition, which just sounds a little fancier. Now, probably one of the major differentiating factors of this phone is that there will actually be an LTE only variant and also 5G SKUs. You can pick between both, but I'm sure that this will finally be an S20 that people will be able to not complain about with the price because of the 5G they probably don't necessarily care about yet. Stay tuned, we'll keep you posted. You know, I've got to hand it to Microsoft for how much they've changed over the last couple of years and in the mix become one of the most profitable companies one more time. The thing about it is some of these changes were extremely controversial. Probably my least favorite was the whole Nokia deal, ditching it and then writing it off and killing Windows Phone in the process. I think that's going to come back and bite Microsoft eventually, but I don't know, I think that's not going to be the only one. See, Microsoft decided to obviously close their retail stores temporarily back when the pandemic started, but apparently they want to keep it that way. In a major strategy shift, Microsoft just announced that they'll be permanently closing almost all of their retail stores across the globe, and they will be relying only on their online sales and their services. As for the jobs, which is what we care most, we don't know if they will be able to keep all of them, but Microsoft says that their retail team will continue to serve customers from the Microsoft corporate facilities or even remotely. They also say that they will reimagine the space in their stores, but we don't know exactly what that means. It could be the Samsung strategy where they have a store in Samsung 839 in New York, for example, where you can go to it, experience it, but you can't buy anything, which has always been the weirdest thing about that store. So I'm hoping that's not what the company's going to do. Now let's move the spotlight over to Google. Come on, you guys know that if there is anything related to Pixel 4a or Pixel 5, we're going to be covering it. It's just, I'm tired of giving you guys all the recent new leaks and no substance as to when you're going to be able to buy these things. But anyways, now it just got listed at the FCC, which usually means that we're getting close to a launch date. From the listing, we got 3 different model numbers, one for the United States, and the other 2 are most likely for other parts of the world. Now, we also have some case renders for the phone that show the more symmetrical bezels we're expecting, the hole in the stove camera, and even the punch hole at the front. The phone on the case render is blue, but we still don't know if that varies variant will be announced, or it might have gotten scrapped as we heard earlier. And let's just keep hoping that we actually do get to see this phone early in July, as it's already time for Pixel 5 leaks. Like, I don't even know what's happening here. Seriously, Google. You let Apple and Microsoft take the entire spotlight over the last couple of weeks. The iPhone SE just killed it. Like, that's when the 4A had to launch. And as for the OnePlus 8 Lite Z thing, which I don't understand why they don't include Nord in the name, because that's what everybody's dubbing that phone now, we continue getting some very interesting teasers. We have a new development from Android Central that talks about the selfie cameras. Yes, cameras. Now, contrary to what we saw with the OnePlus 8, we were expecting this phone to come with a centered single punch hole, but according to this leak, it'll bring dual front-facing cameras. These will consist of a main 32-megapixel sensor along with an 8-megapixel secondary, but we don't know exactly what the secondary camera will do. The leak mentions that the cameras will come like the ones on the Huawei P40 at the top left corner, and we're expecting this phone to bring a Qualcomm Snapdragon 765, 6GB of RAM, and 128GB of storage, with a possible price tag of $330. Now, here's the thing. If I've been using the Huawei P40 Pro Plus for the last couple of days, and let's just say that large punch hole at the left is, yeah, I don't like it. We'll see. And finally, the hottest news today have to do with the iPhone 12, the perks you might be able to get if you go for the Pro variant, and also the price that you probably will have to pay if you go for the non-Pro variants, in a very interesting and conflicting rumor over a product that we didn't think was going to happen, or let's just say a variant. See, let's start with the fact that we've got some new leaks from Ice Universe, but they're actually not from a Samsung device, or sort of. We know that Samsung provides Apple's displays, especially when it comes to the Pro models. And according to him and a reliable source, the iPhone 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max have basically the maximum 120Hz refresh rates. Some iOS 14 beta users have found an accessibility setting that limits the frame rate of their devices to 60 frames per second, hinting that the future iPhones will be capable of higher refresh rates. And we don't know if these iPhones will bring LTPO technology of the sorts or anything, and we do assume that that's most likely not going to be the case this year. Instead, we'll apparently get Apple's ProMotion feature, which dynamically adjusts the display to the movement of content for fluid scrolling, greater responsiveness, and smoother motion. Now, we do have a separate new leak from Twitter, though the source I've never heard of, and the leak is also funky. So we have a claim that there will still be an LTE version of the iPhone 12 and 12 Max, not Pros, and if we do, apparently these will start costing $549, the 12 Max will cost $649, and then the 5G prices will be the $649 for the 12 and $749 for the 12 Max, which is pretty much what John Prosser mentioned a couple of weeks ago. But let us know in the comments down below, because this hints to a very interesting scenario. We're in 2020, weirdest year ever, and if you have a choice right now, knowing that 5G is the new thing, would you pick LTE only iPhones, or would you go for a 5G iPhone? Or let's forget about iPhones, smartphones, period. If you had a choice right now between buying an LTE phone or a 5G phone, what would you buy? In my case, I think I speak for a lot of people that I prefer a feature-proof product, so I would totally go for the 5G variants. But I would love to know what you guys think in the comments down below, and also respond to our poll in the community tab, where we'll definitely discuss about it. Friends, again, if you want to get the news earlier, follow us on Pocketnow.com and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. Also, follow us on social medias. Our extended coverage happens on Instagram, and follow me on my personal handles as you see me speed up at the end of every video, because that's just the natural thing that I do. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. We've got some coverage over the weekend, so stay tuned.